Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of DFS Jags Fantasy Football Podcast on the Nickel City Mafia YouTube stream. We have a very special episode tonight. Fantasy football season is officially over, unless you guys are playing some weird playoff stuff. But we're not going to be talking about fantasy stuff tonight. We're just going to be doing a NFL playoffs preview. We're going to be talking about all the games. We're going to give out our Super Bowl predictions. Tonight we are doing something for the first time. We're going 4 wide tonight. I am joined by my usual co-host Chris Caldwell for the Fantasy Show. What's up, Chris?
Yo, what up, Rick? Excited for some new friends tonight. Let's go.
Yeah. So we're also joined tonight by Jake Podger. He is the co-host of the Buffalo Bills podcast on our Nickel City Mafia stream. What's up, Jake?
How we doing, fellas? Cheers. Little Buffalo Trace for the Buffalo Bills this weekend.
Yeah. And then lastly, but not least, we are joined by Shawn Kula. He is the host of I just want to make sure I get this right, the Red, White, and Bills YouTube channel. Right. I'm going to let him talk a little bit about that channel. The link to his YouTube channel is in the description of this video. So go check that out. Give him a subscribe. But Shawn, what's up, man? Tell us a little bit about your channel.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. I love all your content. And this is the second time I'll be with Jake. But thank you guys for having me on your show too. And you can find me on Twitter, red_white_bills, Instagram, red_white_bills, and then YouTube, red, white, and bills. I started back in week 3, and I really enjoy talking football, not just Buffalo Bills. So all fans are welcome to my YouTube channel. I try to post 2 to 3 videos a week. And, if you like my content, drop a sub, a like, and a share. And thank you guys for everything you do, all the support. Appreciate it.
Yep. Welcome to the show, Shawn. So as you guys know from watching our shows, me and Chris are diehard Ravens fans. So we've kind of moved on. As you can see from my O's hat here, I'm into baseball season now. Even though that's not that exciting to look forward to for the Orioles. But
yeah, big Orioles news today. I don't know if you heard, Rick. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
they took out 12 rows of left field. Our pitching is so bad. They're just making sure we don't give up more home runs.
Yeah, they made the field bigger so that there's less home runs in the stadium, which is I don't know, it's just weird, but it is what it is. But on the other side of it, some happy news from this channel. We got the Bills in the playoffs, so we got 2 diehard Bills fans on this show tonight. So definitely Bills Mafia got a big game this upcoming Saturday against the Patriots. We're going to get into all that in a few minutes. But yeah, I'm going to kick it to Chris first before we get into talking about this. What are your I don't know, what are you looking forward to most in this NFL playoff season? We got 6 games. We have 6 games. 6 games this weekend. We have a Monday night game this weekend for the first time ever. What are you looking forward to for playoff football this year?
Yeah, man, it's kind of like a first across the board, right? It's the first NFL season with 18 weeks. It's we're down to only one team with a bye. So everything's just, switched up a little bit, and I'm interested to see how teams adapt. To me, the biggest switch was just the one bye team. So I feel like, those 2 teams are, have a huge benefit because it's not them and someone else. It's just them. Yeah. So, I'm really, me personally, maybe you'll see it with my predictions later, but, I'm thinking the bye means a lot more this year than it did in the past. So I'm interested to see everyone's takes and excited to talk about the playoffs. It's the best time of the year right now.
Yeah, I love it. Last year, I think they had 6 games on Saturday and Sunday, but I like how they staggered it up this year. 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and then 1 on Monday night, which is the first time ever. So I'm looking forward to that. Shawn, what are you looking forward to in this playoff season besides a Bills win?
Well, like Chris said, I think it's people adapting is going to be interesting. Especially, I for one, I'm not too hot on my team getting a bye because I always feel like, and Jake can probably attest to it too, that they kind of always come out sluggish the next game. But it's definitely going to be interesting, and I think this year, based off of what we saw, especially in the AFC, anyone could have finished with the 1 seed. So I think these playoffs there's gonna be a lot of wild finishes, and it might not be the top teams, the top 1 and 2 seed making it to the championship games. So that's what I'm interested in, to see how it all unfolds with all that.
Yeah, I completely agree. The whole idea of the number 1 seed having a week off between the last week of the season and their next game. We even saw it evidently last week with the Packers. Aaron Rodgers and all their starters played in the first half of the game, which, I mean, Jake, you tell me, like that's pretty crazy, right? I mean, there's no reason why you should be risking injury out there.
You know what, man? So I totally get both sides of it, but I actually kind of favor the idea of getting those guys in and playing them a little bit.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than going to the playoffs and being kind of cold. We've witnessed that as Bills fans this whole year, and it wasn't even sitting guys. It's just that's how we are starting games out. So if you already have a team that's kind of rolling that way, it's tough to get into a rhythm. Now with the Packers, I mean, they're pretty hot. They're rolling right into this, next playoff. They got 2 weeks now. They have a break. Mm-hmm. And it is pretty crazy. You think about it, maybe Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, and then it's like, wow, your playoff hopes are just done. But Aaron Rodgers said himself that he wanted to play. And you saw it with the Cowboys even. Dak said, it was great for them to play, and they decided to play all these starters because pretty much they just didn't want to skip a beat. They're going right into it. And with the Packers, now you have a week off, so it's different. So you don't want to take those 2 weeks. You want to take just 1 week in between and then, get back on track. But it's always an interesting strategy at the end of the season for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, let's roll into it right now. Let's talk about these 1 seeds. We have the playoffs in the NFC going through Lambeau in Green Bay. We've seen that before, as soon as early as last year. The Packers were the number 1 seed. And in the AFC, we got the playoffs rolling through Nashville with the Titans. In my opinion, 2 very different 1 seeds as far as their seasons went this year. The Packers were pretty dominant all year. Rodgers and Devontae just had absolutely stellar seasons. I'm thinking Aaron Rodgers is probably going to be the MVP again this year. If there was a vote for me, I would definitely give him the vote. And then the other side, the Titans, I don't know, man. They somehow sneaked out a number 1 seed after having a very, very up and down season. Of course, Derrick Henry going down definitely hurt them during the season. It looks like they're going to get him back for the playoffs. So I have very different expectations for both of these teams, as you'll see upcoming for my predictions. But Chris, tell me what you think about these number 1 seeds.
Yeah, I put in a ticket for the Packers, humble brag here. I bet them to have the best record in the NFL this year. Wow. So cashed that ticket. That was pretty sweet. They were a bit of a long shot. I think it was like 12-1, 13-1, something like that. So, I love the Packers dating back to last year. I mean, to me, Aaron Rodgers is the best player in the NFL right now. He's white hot, like beyond red hot. He just can't be stopped. And, if you disregard their week 18 game, which didn't matter at all to them, they've won 6 out of their last 7. They're in Lambeau all the way up to the Super Bowl. I just think that, road definitely goes through them. I think they're the cream of the crop. Maybe not only in the NFC, but probably in the NFL. So really high on the Packers at the moment. As for the Titans, my word is just, I'm shocked. If you tell me they're without Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, and Julio Jones for most of the year, I'm telling you their record's 8-9.
Yeah.
The fact that they're number 1 seed is just beyond amazing, and it's kind of a testament to their culture and their coaching. They're without 3 of their biggest studs. Ryan Tannehill has his worst year in the last 3 years, and they win a bye. Are you kidding me? Something's going on here, and it's good things, right? It's Mike Vrabel, and it's the culture. So hard to argue with the Titans. They're getting all their guns back, and they're ready for battle. So excited to see it.
Yeah, definitely looks like they're getting healthy at the right time. Henry coming back, AJ Brown's looking good, and Julio's probably going to be coming back too. But we saw with Shawn, we saw when Henry went down this season, they were still able to run the ball with Foreman and these other guys that they had in the backfield. So it's not surprising that they played good defense. They ran the ball well, and Tannehill just did his little play action thing to AJ Brown like he does every game, except the games that were out, and that's when they struggled the most. And they were able to pull off victories. And we saw it earlier this year when they were at full strength. They whooped up on teams like the Rams, and they whooped up on the Chiefs and these teams, and they looked really, really good earlier this year. So give me your takes on the Titans and the Packers.
Yeah, well, with the Packers, as Chris said, they're a winning culture, winning franchise, excellent franchise, and when Aaron Rodgers at the helm, you got to expect this kind of an outcome for them. But definitely with Tennessee is I was impressed because when Henry went down, I was like, that might be it for them, man, because he's the heartbeat of that team, and I know they got a good defense. What I said about Tennessee in my show was they're probably, in my opinion, besides the Colts, the most physical team in the NFL. So when we played them, I was like, that's what I'm worried about, is matching the physicality of the game. And then when he went out, all these guys stepped up. They had a 3rd and 4th string running back. They ran over 250 yards against New England, even though they got smoked by like 20. But it just goes to show, like you said, Mike Vrabel, he gets the guys ready to play. He gets them right. And I'm shocked as well as impressed that they were able to pull off the 1 seed. Kind of upset because if we just beat them that one game, then that could have been us at the 1 seed. But, they've been resilient. They've battled adversity just as much as anyone else in the league. And, the fruits of their labor are showing. But, definitely tale of two teams with the Packers and the Titans for sure, though.
Yeah, it seems like we're all in agreement on that situation. Jake, do you echo that as well?
100%. I mean, Nick Westbrook-Akina, you got Deontay Foreman, Ryan Tannehill, his worst season in how many years, still playing efficient football, but not doing a whole lot. Credit to the offensive line and that defense. Kevin Byard's a stud. It's just Harold Landry, unbelievable player. Credit to the culture, credit to the defense. Disgusting football. No one outside of probably me loves to see a good, tough running game, especially to my brother-in-law Zach out there, who I saw.
Who's their fullback? Jake.
They have Blossengame. Kari Blossengame. So phenomenal name. Yep. Anthony Ferkser, shout out to him. I know he plays a little H back there too. Shout out to Philip Supernaw, not playing with the team anymore, but absolute stud. Went to some weird college, some Baptist college. I forget what it's called. But anyways, love the makeup of the team.
How do you know that?
I don't know, Rick. I have issues. I have a lot of issues.
Fullback
you could ask my wife. Yeah, love the fullback position. Just obsessed with it.
All right.
But yes. Anyways, the Titans. Yeah, just a weird team to be a number 1 seed, but they somehow get in. And they got a 1st round bye. And Derrick Henry, if he comes back, look out, because you saw how good they were without him. Then you have the Packers on the other side, a little more flashy. But their defense actually is really solid too. Zadarius Smith, I think, might be coming back. Not sure. Is Jair Alexander?
He is.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then Rasul Douglas. What an emergence for him too. So a lot of people, they're talking Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. Yeah, unbelievable players. But their defense has really stepped up too. So, I mean, they just have a very complete team. They're so freaking good. A.J. Dillon outrushes Aaron Jones this year too. I mean, 800 yards for basically both of them. Aaron Jones, I think, was like a yard away. But just wild, man. Wild. I love the NFL playoffs. It's great.
Thanks for mentioning Jair. That's a big deal.
He's a stud.
That's a huge win right now.
Yes.
Yeah. I think they get Bakhtiari back for the playoffs too.
Yeah, he's back too. Yeah, David Bakhtiari.
I was just about to say that. That's a big thing for the Packers, is to get Bakhtiari back for the playoffs.
Dennis Kelly's been playing phenomenal too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right tackle. Yep.
Like Chris said earlier, Mike Vrabel, man, this guy's he's a hell of a coach. He said some weird things in the past about, chopping off his PP to win a Super Bowl and stuff like that. And
I love that.
I don't even remember.
He was last year. He said he would chop it off to win a Super Bowl, and I totally believe this guy, man. This guy, all he cares about is football.
That's who I want driving my car, dude.
That's right.
Do
we want them? Do we want them to win just to see if he'll do it?
But I think it all comes back to the winning culture that he had as a player in New England, winning so many Super Bowls under Belichick, and just having that mentality of knowing how to run a football team. I think is very, very key. And it goes to show just how good of a winning culture that Belichick's developed over the last few years, we'll see how that goes this weekend also with the Patriots Bills game. But let's jump into these weekend games. The first game we have on the slate on the docket is Saturday at 4:30 Eastern. It is the Las Vegas Raiders coming off of one of, if not the most exciting NFL game that I've seen in a really, really long time, Sunday night, going into Cincinnati. Just a real quick recap of that game. The Raiders had the option to tie the game at the end. They could have kneeled the ball out potentially and guaranteed a playoff spot, but they decided to run the ball. And if they would have tied the game, then the Chargers would have made the playoffs as the 6th seed. They would have been the 7th seed and had to travel to Kansas City. So I really, really think that they went through and kick the field goal and try to win the game because they wanted to avoid Kansas City, especially after they got waxed by them twice this year. Yeah. So I'm really thinking that's what happened. And also, a chance to knock your divisional foe out of the playoffs. That's probably another reason why they kicked the field goal to win the game, which ultimately led the Steelers to get the 7th seed. Not a fun viewing experience for Ravens fans, but I don't really care about that. They get to play an extra week and they'll get blown out by the Chiefs. But this game, the Raiders go into Cincinnati. Cincinnati pretty much rested all of their starters last week, or had quote unquote COVID, like Mixon and Burrow and everybody. And the Bengals are a -5 point favorite in this game. The over under is 49 points. Chris, what are you thinking about this game?
So pretty crazy. The Bengals haven't won a playoff game in how many years?
91, I think.
Yeah.
They've always been a one and done team as far as
I think 30 years since they've won a playoff game, and now they're a 6-point favorite in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Do we think it's going to happen? I personally think it's going to happen. So the Bengals, they absolutely routed the Raiders earlier in the year in Las Vegas. Raiders, one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. They won 4 in a row, getting hot at the right time. Max Crosby's unblockable. Watching him in that Chargers game, like, dude, guy's an absolute animal. Like, I mean, literally the definition of unblockable. Like, you doesn't matter if you double team him or not. He was getting to the quarterback. He was disrupting the play. So I think that the Bengals match up well against the Raiders for this one simple point. Joe Burrow, absolutely, like, sorry, I said it wrong. Burrow excels when he's blitzed. That's shown very clearly that he decimated the Ravens 2 times in a row. We blitz at a very high percentage. The Raiders are notorious. They refuse to blitz. I think it's like 10% of their plays, they rush more than 4. So if the Raiders were to have a chance in this game, it would be because their front 4 plays out of their mind. They are getting pressure, and Burrow is not able to make big plays because he wants you to bring 5. He wants you to bring 6 so he can hit his big plays to T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. So I think that's going to be the key to me for this game. Can Burrow play game manager, work his way down the field, get Mixon involved, long drives rather than 70-yard touchdowns? That's going to be the key to me. I am picking the Bengals to win. However, I don't think it's their ideal matchup because I think they would like to play a defense that's more aggressive and more blitz heavy than the Raiders. That's my take.
All right. So we got one on the board for the Bengals. Jake, who do you like in this game?
Well, I just want to thank you guys for putting some respect on my boy's name, Max Crosby. Shout out Max Crosby, Eastern Michigan, little Maction there for you. Absolute stud, unbelievable, totally unblockable. Guy's a freak of nature. Denzel Perriman, shout out to him. That defense is pretty nice. They got some players. Casey Hayward, they can play. However, it's the offense that's really been getting most of the attention. Both of those offenses are absolutely humming. The Bengals, they have 2 1,000-yard receivers, I think, for the first time since TJ Hoosier Mama and Chad Ochocinco. Fun fact about Ochocinco, a little sidebar, the 1369 receiving yards, that was his my secret question password thing to reactivate a password on like every site known to man. So now you know that information. Probably not the best thing in the world. I don't know why. I know you guys are Ravens fans. I'm sorry to rub that in. Joe Mixon showing signs of the old Rudy Johnson, looking like him out there running the football. Love to see it. The offense is unbelievable. And they still got Tyler Boyd too. I think it's going to be a shootout personally. I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth. Going to be a high scoring affair, but the Bengals top them off. I think it's going to be like 41-30. Bet the over. That's my prediction, Rick. Bet the over. Life's too short to bet the under. Bengals for sure.
All right. So we got 2 on the board for the Bengals. Jake predicting a shootout there. Shawn, who do you like in this game?
To be honest, I think the Raiders, man, because all that they've been through this year with the coach and the Henry Ruggs situation, and then
Bisaccia, baby.
They even had another rookie have another DUI, and to have a new coach step in, and when their season looked over, they go on a 4-game win streak, and then they get in a shootout with the Chargers. And, both teams, for me, I think their defenses are inconsistent. Although with Joe Burrow, the way he's been playing and the way he's been connecting with his receivers, they're putting up big numbers on the offense. So their defense can lack a little bit. But in this kind of game, I like Derek Carr. I feel like even though he hasn't won a playoff game, that he'll be more mentally prepared than maybe Joe Burrow would, because maybe Joe Burrow is going to feel all the pressure, like, oh, I played big in college and in big games. Now I got to step up right now. But I feel like Derek Carr, he's a leader personified. He's the heartbeat of this team. You got Double X on defensive end, and you got Perriman and Darius Philon. I watched. He was a stud in that game against the Chargers, but
he's banged. Is he out for the playoffs? Did they announce that?
I don't know.
I know he got hurt.
Yeah, I saw him get hurt near the end, but I mean, I think it's going to be a shootout too. Definitely bet the over on it for sure. I agree with that. But I think it can go. I think it can go either way. But I just like the Raiders in this situation, just for the fact, because I think although Joe Burrow is better than Derek Carr, I think he's just going to be the reason why he can lead his team to victory.
All right, so we got one on the board for the Raiders. I don't know, man. This is a tough game for me. So this game opened up at -6.5 for the Bengals. It's been bet down to -5 now. So there's a lot of money coming in on the Raiders for some reason. But I think I have to side with the Bengals on this one, just because I don't really like teams playing overtime games the week before. The Raiders essentially played 5 quarters on Sunday night, and now they have to line up on a short week on Saturday, first game of the weekend. That I feel like they're going to be a little tired. They're a little banged up. They had this emotional victory on Sunday night. I think it's a kind of a letdown spot for the Raiders.
And the Bengals essentially had a bye.
Yeah, the Bengals essentially had a bye. Like they didn't play anybody. So can they carry that momentum into Saturday? Sure, maybe, but I really like by the end of the game, I think the Bengals are going to win this game. I absolutely agree. My favorite bet on this game is the over. I think it's going to soar over the total. I think it's going to get to like 60 points, like Jake said, 70 points maybe. But yeah, definitely love the over in this game. If I was going to lean aside, I guess maybe the Raiders, just because it seems like a lot of money coming in. I think it could be potentially a close game, but I think at the end of the day, the Bengals are going to get their first playoff victory in many years.
30
Yeah.
30 years.
31 years.
Yeah. So real quick before we jump in, I'm just reading the chat here. So we got
someone wants us to say who we think the worst team in the playoffs is.
And why is it the Steelers? Okay. Well,
I have another answer though. I have a non-Steelers answer in case you guys don't.
Go ahead, Chris. I'll let you go first. Who's the worst team in the playoffs?
Eagles.
100%.
So
Shawn,
it's all Pennsylvania. So
Shawn, do you agree?
Yeah, I think it's a toss-up between those two.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna say it's the Steelers. The Steelers are so bad, man. They have the worst rush defense in the NFL. Ben Roethlisberger literally cannot throw the ball more than like 6 yards down the field. Like he had like in the last game he had in Heinz Field, he had like 41 pass attempts or something like that for like 130 yards. I've never seen a stat line like that before. And I have
41.
Yeah, I have no idea how they got into the playoffs. Just some magical miracle cure that they got into the playoffs. They tied with the Lions this year. I don't know, man, but they're bad. At least with the with the Eagles, you have some resemblance of a quarterback who can potentially have a ceiling game and win you a game there with Jalen Hurts. But
Are you sure?
yeah, I'm pretty sure he can have a ceiling game and win a game. But is he going to have that ceiling game against the Bucs? We'll get into that in a second. I don't know. But yeah, so if it was to ask me, I would say the Steelers. Jake and Chris are saying the Eagles, and Sean's a little toss up there. What do we have? Any other questions here? Let's see. I don't see any other questions. Okay, they're just
Scott and Pete are just chatting about.
They're just chatting. What's up, Scott? What's up, Pete? Those are our friends there. All right. So yeah, so we got 3 for the Bengals, 1 for the Raiders, and a shootout. That's what we're predicting. All right, let's get into the next game. The game of the hour, Saturday at 8:15 Eastern. We got the Patriots at the Buffalo Bills in Orchard Park. This line is Buffalo -4 currently. The over-under is 44 points. I'm going to kick it to Shawn first here. Let me know what you think. I know who you're going to predict to win the game, but just tell me what your outlook is on the game here.
Well, after the first game we played against the Pats, it was 100% an outlier. Josh Allen was able to sling the ball on the 50-mile-an-hour winds. It was hard for the receivers to make plays. A couple coaching decisions led to a 4-point loss. But then the next time we played them, we got to see who the better team was. And I think when it comes down to this game, Mac Jones, his first playoff game is going to be in Buffalo in terrible weather. Josh Allen's already had 2 playoff wins. He's been to the AFC Championship. Our run game in the past 5 weeks has soared upwards. Finally, my man Motor's getting more than 5 carries in a game. So now we've proven that we can run the ball efficiently. Josh Allen can run the ball efficiently. So if he doesn't have to throw the ball, or for some reason if the receivers we talked about it off air, Josh Allen can throw the ball in all elements. But the problem we're finding ourselves in is in a wind, he has to throw lasers or in the snow or the rain, and then the receivers are dropping it because it's going at them so hard and then their hands are cold and it just bounces off their hands. So it's nice to have a guy that can do that, but the receivers got to help out a little bit. But I'm confident in our run game, and I know our defense is the number 1 defense for a reason. So I'm not worried about Mac Jones throwing the ball. And they ran over 200 yards against us and only got 14 points the first time. So I think if we can mimic that with our rush defense, I don't see a reason why we can't win by 10 points. So I'm very confident in this team. The atmosphere in Buffalo is going to be absolutely crazy. We only had 6,000 fans there last year, and it felt like it was a full house from everyone that I knew that was there, and the announcers were saying it too. So I think that's going to be hard enough for the Patriots just to deal with that. And, you know, our boys felt disrespected this year, especially on defense. No Pro Bowl nominations, number 1 defense in many categories. And we're on a mission, you know. Ever since last year, we had a nice run, 13-3, a couple playoff wins, then got disappointed in Arrowhead. We beat them in Arrowhead this year. So I think this year going into the playoffs, they're very confident. And to play against your most hated division rival, I think that's going to bring an extra juice to it. But I think with 17 on our team, just like Aaron Rodgers, you know, when he's a quarterback, I'm not worried about any game.
All right. Very, 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 very confident. Do you exude that confidence also, Jake?
Oh my gosh, Shawn. I'm about to jump on this pool table right now. I'm about to jump on it. You're lucky it's not Saturday. Otherwise, I'd be right on that thing. Let me tell you, 20 freaking years, guys. We got our nuts kicked in by the Patriots year in and year out. I'm sick and tired of the media. The media in Boston finds a way to spin it. Mac Jones threw 3 passes the first game against us. They ran all over us, whatever. Little, chippy plays here and there, and then they break a big one. I'm sick and tired of it. The next game, we showed them who was the boss. We showed them who the king of the AFC East really was. Josh Allen put the team on his back. Bills by $1 billion. We're winning this game by 20 plus. Maybe 20. Maybe 20, because I actually do have score predictions written down. I think really the key to this is the coaching. Sean McDermott needs to stay aggressive, because the first game that we played them, we just laid down and we let the Patriots just take advantage of us. And we still only lost 14-10. So when a team runs for 250 plus on you, hold them to 3 passes, 14-10 doesn't look that bad. And we could have won the game because Josh threw a ball. It was kind of, it was off a little bit. He was looking for Gabe in the end zone there. But you know what? That's a wash. That game's done. Coldest game of Mac Jones's career. You think Josh needs to be a little worried? You think our receivers need to be worried? Mac Jones playing in 5-degree weather? Are you kidding me? Wind chill -3? Good luck, buddy. Alabama boy, I don't think he's going to last. So I'm telling you right now, I sound like your typical Bills bandwagoner fan. I'll tell you what, I am not a bandwagoner fan. I don't think a lot of people can remember Corey McIntyre, Mike Schneck, guys like freaking George Wilson. I mean, I'll go through a full list of players. I've been waiting for this my whole life. It's time. It's time. We're circling the wagons. Bills by $1 billion. I think it's really going to be 34-14, but you get my point. Ball game, Bills corner all day. Josh Allen puts a team on his back. That's it. That's all I got to say. I'm going to keep going. So I got to stop.
All right. Two very unsurprising predictions there from Jake and Shawn. They both are saying Bills by a lot. I am going to say the Bills are going to win this game also, but I think they're going to win by less than 4. I think this is going to be a pretty close game. I understand everything that you've said, and of course you do a good job selling me, but I have an unbiased view here. I am going to throw the first game in New England completely out the door. I don't think that game means anything. To be completely honest with you, it was a completely outlier game with, like you said, like just 1 million runs in that game. Josh Allen trying to throw the ball in high winds. It was a strange game. So the second game, yes, they did settle that a little bit on the field. The Bills won the game by 12 points, and they looked like the better team in that game. But this is the playoffs. This is Bill Belichick. This is the third time they're playing each other this year. I don't know, man. Seeing Bill Belichick see a team for the third time is a pretty scary thought. I think this game is going to come down to the wire. I think it's going to be close to the very end. I think the Bills win like 24-21, maybe something like that. I think it's going to be a close game, and it's going to be a game that comes down to turnovers. If Mac Jones can take care of the ball, if Damian Harris can do his thing, I think that's going to determine the game. But I do predict the Bills are going to win this game. It's just going to be a lot closer than you guys think. So. That's my prediction. Bill, Chris, what do you think?
Jake, I need a shot of your Buffalo Trace.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Bills by 10+.
Oh, let's go, Chris.
Yep. So I'm having a hard time even giving the Patriots a chance in this one. The first time they played, literally trash can, game doesn't count. Just don't care. Second time they played, I don't know if you know, but the Bills never punted. Not once. Only time in Bill Belichick's career that the other team did not punt one time. So put that feather in your cap, keep it there, and keep using it. That's a fact. Third thing, Mac Jones, rookie QB, is not winning a game on the road in the playoffs in 5-degree weather. I'm glad you pointed it out. Alabama boy, not Northern New York boy, right? So I think everything's pointing the Bills' direction. The fact that this is only -4 is kind of killing me. I think this is a -6, -6.5 line. Just absolutely all over the Bills in this one. I think the Patriots will make it competitive, but the Bills win this one kind of running away. I think they win it by 8 to 12 points.
So why isn't the line -6 or -7 like you think it is? I mean,
it's
like
media.
They're
it's
Vegas,
the media.
Vegas
I don't think Vegas cares about the media.
No, they want 50-50 of the money on both sides. The New Englands are the more popular team in the country, probably times 2 or 3. They're smart. They know more people want to bet the Patriots, so you keep the line a little bit tight. Come on, Rick. Let's go.
I think there's a lot of emotion on both sides it's really built into this, and they're feeding off of it. Yeah. I mean, you see how I am right now. Imagine me on Saturday. It's going to be a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
My poor wife.
We need to get you a live stream yourself.
Jake, I'm free this weekend. I think my best weekend plans could be just to fly to your house and just watch.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it, Chris. I like it.
Yep. I don't know, guys. I mean, I've always said this year that like Josh Allen in cold weather, man. I don't know, man. He's much better of a quarterback in warm weather, in domes, and that with that high flying offense. In 5-degree weather, I don't know. I need to see it.
The only
last
reason
year, though, last year channel last year, because last year he was great.
Who did they beat before the Ravens game? Or
The
was
Colts.
the Ravens?
That was Indianapolis. Yeah,
That game was in Buffalo.
that was in
Yeah,
Buffalo.
he was solid. He was solid that game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, he came through big.
Yeah,
And
then they got beat up by the Colts earlier this year, huh?
Mhm.
they did.
Yeah, the run game is tough for us. That's kind of our biggest weakness, because we let up a lot of these 4-yard runs, and they just keep chipping away at us, and then finally break a big one, and then usually all hope goes out the window at that point.
Yeah,
I think Rick has. If my humble opinion is that Rick has a Belichick boner for this game, so
That's
I
okay.
think-
He's the greatest coach of our
He's the
generation.
greatest-
and that's fine. But I think,
Yeah.
I hate to say, with that aside, the Bills are a much better team, but it's true. So
it was literally only like 1 month ago, not even 1 month ago, that we were talking about the Patriots being potentially the best team in the NFL, or like the number 1 seed. The Patriots, they were like in conversation, like they were the 1 seed.
Yeah, that was
Like,
frustrating.
they were talking about being like the best team in the NFL. They were winning the division at that time. They did look not as well the last month of the season, I will say that much. So maybe that was maybe a little bit of them regressing to the norm. Maybe they're just playing out of their minds for the earlier this year. But yeah, I mean, in cold weather, this is a division game. I mean, division games are always close. In a playoff games are always about defense, and who else is a better defensive mind than Bill Belichick? I just think this game is going to be close, but I still do think the Bills are going to win. Who's their kicker again? Who's the Bills' kicker?
Bills?
Yeah,
Tyler Bass.
Oh, yeah, Tyler Bass. He's gonna
One
kick
eye black, baby.
Yeah, he's gonna kick like a 49-yarder with 40 seconds to go to win the game, I think.
Oh, crown him.
For my heart and my blood pressure's sake, I hope it's a lot farther away than 3 points. But yeah, no, you bring up a fair point about the cold weather, but like we said off air, I don't think Josh in the cold is the problem. It's who could throw in 50-mile-an-hour winds besides Josh Allen. And
what's the wind level like this weekend?
It was
low. It's
10
10
miles an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like I said, when the football is cold, it turns into a rock, and then he's got to throw a laser to get through the tight windows in the elements. And then we've seen how many drop touchdowns this year in the cold weather and the wind, and it's just he's doing everything he can to make throws where they need to be, but then in situations the receivers aren't coming through. And I don't want to blame. I kind of believe that if it hits both of your hands, you have to catch it. Although I'm a 240-pound lazy 26-year-old, well, not lazy, but I'm not an NFL player. But so it's easy for me to say that. But if he's doing all he can to make these perfect throws in big time situations, they got to catch the ball. Like even last week against the Jets, Diggs dropped a wide open touchdown on a slant route, and if you do that in the playoffs, that might hurt us. I know it's fast, but you catch it all the time from him in practice, and you had over 230 receptions from him in 2 years, and they got to help him out, especially in a game like you're going against the Patriots. Every little play counts.
Somebody needs to tell Josh Allen to not hold the X button that long. The guy just literally guns it when they're like 3 yards from them. I'm like, why are you throwing it so hard when they're that close to you? Just ease off on the X button a little bit. Just get it to him. Let Diggs catch the ball, and they'll be good.
He went through a Starbucks drive-through the other day. I heard from a coworker of mine. She saw him, and everyone comes up to the window, and he's fist pumping, going nuts. He's perfect for our city. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I would walk in traffic for him. I do think that the Patriots, if they really want to, exploit us, obviously the run game. But I think another thing that we saw last week, Shawn, is the special teams game. Our Matt Hack. So I've been kind of a big fan of him. When we first got him, I thought he was actually an upgrade from Corey Bajorquez, but really hasn't been the case. He's had a really tough time here. Not the best season, really. And I think if they want to take advantage of us, they just got to send him. And pretty much every play they go for that block punt, because we really struggled last week. It almost cost us a little bit. So I think that is definitely one thing. And obviously, the run game. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. I don't know.
See. It'll be a good game, I think. And if for those people out there that don't know, Jake is Josh Allen's lost long son. So so
I am so
he might be a little
honored.
biased. But yeah, all right. So let's move on to the next game here. I think we're all on the Bills board here. Like we'll see them win a game and move on to the next round. Sunday, we got 3 games. The first game is at 1 o'clock Eastern. We got the Eagles going into Tampa Bay and playing the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady. The line in this game is currently Tampa Bay minus 8.5. The over-under is 46. I mean, this game's has a chance of being a little ugly. I think I actually really like the under in this game personally. I think I've been hearing not rumors, but I've been hearing things on different podcasts about, speaking of wins, that the wins are going to be pretty high in this game, 20-25 mile per hour win. So I think this is going to be a running game, and it looks like the Bucs are going to get possibly get Fournette back in this game. But Bucs are missing a lot of pieces, man. They're missing Antonio Brown, they're missing Chris Godwin, but they still have good pieces in Gronk and Evans and those kind of guys. So I don't really have a lean sidewise. Point spread wise, I think the Bucs are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think they're going to win like 28-17, something like that, like 24-17, something like that, something low scoring where it'll come down to the fourth quarter. I think the Eagles will keep it close, but I mean, maybe they'll backdoor a touchdown to cover the spread or something like that. But I really like the under. I think the Bucs are going to move on, win this game. And I think they're setting up for a playoff run, so I think they're going to win. Shawn, I'm going to kick it to you first. What are your thoughts on this game?
Well, you mentioned it's going to probably be a running game, and we all know how good this Bucs front seven is. So I don't think the Eagles are going to have much success trying to run on these guys. They might be able to find some with Jalen Hurts, as we saw Josh Allen was able to run all over him, and I think they can exploit that a little bit. But as far as the Bucs offense goes, you mentioned Gronk, and they got Cameron Brate and Fournette and Mike Evans. So, and of course you got, it hurts my soul to say it, but obviously Tom Brady's the best quarterback to ever play. So when he's leading the charge against an Eagles team who we could argue that shouldn't be in the playoffs, I mean, I think when you just look at that aspect alone, and again, coaching too, obviously. Bruce Arians wasn't a great coach his first year, obviously, because 7-9. They had a pretty good defensive players, but they couldn't put it together. And then they got Tom Brady, and all of a sudden, so you can argue Tom Brady is leading this team like he did in New England, but Nick Sirianni's a new coach, and it's yet to be proven. Can he step up in this big time game, and in Tampa Bay, and bring Philly to a victory? But I think this Bucs front seven is too good, and they got Devin White and Vita Vea and Golston and JPP, and these guys are just machines. So I think it's going to be rough for Philly. But I agree with you when you said 27-14 or whatever that score was. That's realistic for me.
Yep. Cool. All right. So we got another one for the Bucs there. Chris, what do you think about this game?
I just think it's probably the worst draw in the NFL for the Eagles. I think they're the worst team in the playoffs, but they could have had a better spot, where their style, their gig worked a little better. They're going to play a good D. They're going to run it down your throat. And, with 3 running backs deep plus Jalen Hurts, it's just not going to work in this environment. Sucks for them. It would have been fun to see them, pull an upside game and be a little Cinderella story. But I can't think of a worse team for them to play to try to get an upset victory, right? Literally anyone else but the Bucs. It's just not going to work. Jalen Hurts is not beating Tom Brady in a playoff game, especially on the road. That's about all I have to say is that Jalen Hurts, better fantasy quarterback than real life quarterback. You're not winning the game in South Florida against Tom. Give it up, man.
Yeah, we said that all year. Me and Chris did. Jalen Hurts was because of his rushing upside was so good as far as the fantasy quarterback goes, but
Brutal to watch, dude.
yeah,
Brutal.
absolutely brutal to watch. He loves the RPO sprint right, throw it out
Throw
of
it out of
bounds.
bounds.
Yeah, that's his favorite play in the NFL. But yeah, yeah, I agree there. It's a tough draw for them. They probably would have matched up better against someone like the Rams or the Cardinals or something like that. But I think they got a pretty tough.
Eagles Cards would have been a fun game. Two
Yeah.
shit shows of a team right now to
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. So I think we're all pretty much in unison there. Jake, you have any thoughts to echo here on this game?
Yeah, I think the Eagles, they're just built on running the football. You're not going to be able to do it against a guy like Vita Vea. First off, shout out to him. No gloves, no nothing. The guy just goes out there and he plays football. I love that. I mean, just an absolute grinder in the middle there. Signed a big extension, well-deserved for that guy. Devin Smith, sideline to sideline, just incredible. You just got a complete team there. You really do. I think it can actually be a little close. I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. Sort of what Rick was saying. I can see it being like a 28-17 game. I actually had 27-13 on my sheet here. I can't see it being anything better than that. And unfortunately for Jalen Hurts, it's going to be a very humbling moment for him. Shout out to Nick Sirianni, Jamestown, New York guy. Love him to death, but it's not your year, buddy. It's just not it. And Bucs pull it off.
Jake, do you have any concerns with the Bucs missing these key guys on offense, Antonio Brown and
No.
Chris Godwin?
No, because they have a guy named Scotty Miller. I am a big Scotty Miller fan. Keyshawn Vaughn, Cyril Grayson, too. I mean, holy crap, where did this guy come from? Track runner, the guy is a freak of nature, averaged 21 yards a catch. I mean, he came out of the blueprint pretty much. I don't even know where he came from, really. I mean, he comes in for Antonio Brown, absolutely lights it up against the Jets. So, yeah.
So that's definitely one thing we've seen throughout Tom Brady's careers. I mean, he wins Super Bowls with less than stellar talent at wide receiver. So I think he makes everyone around him better. As far as these names that you're talking about, Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller, Cyril Grayson. Yeah, these guys are.
Can I find a place to bet a prop that throughout the playoffs this year, Tyler Johnson will have 2 touchdowns?
Yes.
I don't know, but you could probably find something.
It's going to happen. I'm telling you. If you have the ability to bet it, Tyler Johnson will have 2 touchdowns throughout the playoffs.
I might bet it this week, Chris. Let's do it.
All right, so we're all in unison in that game. We think the Bucs are definitely gonna win the game. We think it's going to be a little bit closer, maybe low scoring, kind of ugly game, but I think the Bucs are going to move on in this situation. Let's move on to the next game here. We got an old school 1990s kind of battle here between the Cowboys and the 49ers, two of the most storied franchises in the NFL. Growing up, me personally, I was a 49ers fan before the Ravens came to Baltimore, just because I wasn't really a Redskins fan. So I really like the 49ers with Steve Young and Joe Montana. And these games, these NFC Championship games, I would always watch between the 49ers and Cowboys were always stellar football games. We got a repeat of that now in this division wildcard weekend game. We got the Cowboys as a minus 3-point favorite, 51 point total in this game. Jake, I'm gonna throw it to you first in this game. Who do you like in this game?
All right, so the Cowboys lead the series 19-17-1, I believe, all time. They've won the last 3 matchups. Niners are taking this one. It's going to be the first upset of the wild card weekend. I love the way that they're built. Deebo Samuel, is he the most effective runner on that team? The guy is unbelievable. Eli Mitchell, what a find in the draft for him, too. I mean, he's like the next Alfred Morris. Love to see that. Shout out to the R words. And I mean, the defense, they're stacked too. They're ready to go. I think Kyle Shanahan's got to figure it out. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a shootout. I think 34-28. That's my score prediction. The Cowboys are going to grind it out. I think they might get off to like an early lead, but the Niners, they're built to last throughout the whole game. I think the Cowboys start off real hot, and then they kind of just put their foot on the brake a little bit. So minus last week, but that doesn't really count.
Okay, so we got a prediction of an upset here from Jake for the Niners. Chris, who do you like in this game?
Yeah, man, I think this is probably one of the better games to watch just because of the history of the two franchises, and I think it's going to be one of the more toss-up, closer games of the weekend. So looking forward to this one, more than most. Personally, I cannot see Jimmy G winning a game on the road. against this improved Cowboys defense. Micah Parsons is going to be back. Guy was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. God forbid we ever have a game when the Cowboys defense and offense both clicks at the same time. It's going to be a dangerous sight, right? I mean, they've both played individually well at points throughout the year. I don't know, man. The Cowboys, they're enamoring. It's just, what are you going to see from them that week, right? You know, they're able to put up 40 points when they want to. You know, 2 studs in the backfield there, 2 good receivers, studs on defense. It's just they're exciting. I'm gonna go Cowboys in this one, but I think it's a tight game. I'm gonna say I will take Cowboys with the spread. Both teams are hot though. 49ers won 7 out of their last 9. Cowboys won 5 out of their last 6. Exciting game. Probably looking forward to this one most of the weekend.
Yep. All right. So I forget you picked the Cowboys, right, to win this game? Okay. So
I'm just going to say something too, real quick.
Yeah.
George Kittle sort of been in hiding a little bit. I think he has a huge day. That's their passing weapon this game, and outside of that, I think they're running the football downhill all day.
All right. So I think that I've been kind of. I kind of don't know where to go as far as who's going to win.
Can we all agree this is kind of like a no bet game?
Yeah. Well,
I think it seems like we're all vibing that way so far.
As far as the side goes, yes. I really like the over in this game. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. If you would have asked me last week if this was going to be the game, like who would I have thought was going to win, I probably would have said the Cowboys. But after seeing what the 49ers did last Sunday, I was really impressed. They were getting their doors blown off of them in the first half versus the Rams. I think they were losing like 17-0 or 21-0 or something like that. And they came back. They chipped away that lead, and they came back against a good Rams defense and ended up winning that game, which ultimately put them in the spot. They needed to win that game to get in the playoffs because the Saints won. And they came back and won that game, which really, really impressed me. Jimmy G, I mean, he has played in the Super Bowl before. I mean, this guy has playoff winning experience. So I give the coaching edge to Kyle Shanahan here. I think he's a head and above shoulders way better coach than the junk they have on the Cowboys sideline in Mike McCarthy. But I'm going to lean 49ers in this game just because we have to make a pick. But if I was to bet this game, it's definitely the over. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I see this game shooting into the high 50s, low 60s as far as the total goes. So I'm going to go with 49ers too. I think they pull off the upset. Not to mention, I also do have a 60-1 49ers Super Bowl ticket that I bet at week 7 of the season. So I'm kind of rooting for that as well. So, but yeah, I'll go with the 49ers this game, but I could lean either way. I think Cowboys have looked okay down the stretch. They haven't looked the greatest at times, but we've seen their offense be immaculate at times also. So shootout, but I think the 49ers get the job done at the end. Shawn, what are your thoughts?
Well, one thing I'll say about that 49ers and Rams game is the Rams just can't beat the 49ers ever. And, I got a really good friend that's a Rams fan, and he'll be the first one to say, he's like, I don't want to play the 49ers in the playoffs. We never can beat them. And then I was like, when it was 17-0, I was like, oh, maybe this will be the time. And I got another friend that's a Saints fan. They do a pod together all the time, but sometimes I go on their show. I texted him. I was like, oh, maybe the Rams will come through for you guys. Lo and behold, they blew the lead, and they got beat by the Niners again. So, definitely they played awesome last week, but it's just one of those teams where the Rams just can't figure it out against them. But I like the Cowboys in this one, and I don't think it's going to be that close, to be honest with you. I think what Dan Quinn has been able to do with this defense, he wasn't a great head coach, but this defense has been thriving under Dan Quinn. And yeah, the 49ers got Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, passing weapons. But I think with Micah Parsons and, Trayvon Diggs, he gives up a lot of yards. But Anthony Brown's been good as the other side of the corner side of the field too. So nice. I think this defense is they've been stepping up. And like Chris said, if they click and the offense clicks, and Cowboys have been inconsistent at times with, they scored 9 points against the Chiefs and they had a couple low scoring games, but just like Buffalo, they've shown that they can beat anybody and they can put up 40 points on anybody too. So with Dak leading the way, I think he could be comeback player of the year, him or Joe Burrow. And, you got Tony Pollard, and you got Zeke, you got Lamb, you got Schultz, you got Amari Cooper. You got all these weapons that Dak can throw to. I just think it's going to be too much for the 49ers to handle. I'm not saying that they're a bad team by any means, but I just think this is going to be a game where the Cowboys really show you who they truly are. And I think the defense is going to come out on all cylinders firing. I think Dak's going to have a heck of a game, probably, upwards of 350 yards passing game, 3 or 4 touchdowns. I think it's just going to be maybe a 11, 12-point game, maybe even more.
Okay.
I'm high on the Cowboys.
DeMarcus Lawrence, too. Don't forget about him. Him and Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
I forgot about him for a second, actually. So I had to mention it.
I saw a funny meme earlier this week that said Trayvon Diggs is the Jameis Winston of defenses.
That's awesome.
Because the guy can literally
all or nothing.
Yeah, he's literally all or nothing. He either picks sixes or gives up a huge touchdown. So, if Kittle or Debo can get behind him and create a big play, I don't know. We'll see, but. It looks like we're all pretty split on this game. Looks like me and Jake are taking the 49ers and Chris and Shawn are taking the Cowboys in this game. So we'll see how this game goes. It should be an exciting one, much more exciting than the next game we're going to talk about, I think, which is the Sunday night game between the Chiefs and the Steelers. We saw this game a few weeks ago where the Steelers absolutely got waxed in Kansas City. They lost that game 36-10. I don't see anything different that's going to happen in this game. I love the Chiefs minus 13.5. I don't care how big the spread is. I don't care if it was minus 17, minus 18. I would still like the Chiefs in this game. The Steelers are absolute garbage. They don't know how to stop anybody. And I think the Chiefs play good defense enough to limit the Steelers to, I don't know, maybe 14 points. I don't think that's going to be enough to cover a 13-point spread against the Chiefs. So I really like the Chiefs in this game. Pretty simple for me. They're gonna blow the doors off of them. They may even be winning by so much that Patrick Mahomes may not even play the fourth quarter. So we'll see.
Let's go.
We'll see how this game goes. I'm obviously a little biased. I hate the Steelers, but it'll be nice to see them get waxed again.
Well, you're not wrong.
Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, just a question for you guys. Are the Steelers the Cinderella? I don't know if Cinderella is the right word. Would they be the most poetic Super Bowl winner this year?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I think it's
right?
because of Ben retiring.
Such a story.
Yeah.
It's like the Ray Lewis Last Dance, Baltimore.
Peyton Manning.
Remember that Ravens
Denver.
Super Bowl, Rick?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Yikes.
If the Steelers win, it's fixed though.
Well, don't let me ruin the book for you. They're not going to win the Super Bowl. They're pretty bad. Yeah, man. I on the app I'm looking at, the line's 12.5 right now. I think if you can get the 12.5 line with bringing the teaser crew, get that down to 6.5. I mean, that's like a absolute slam dunk line to be betting in this game. I just don't see how the Steelers keep this game within a touchdown. Not on the road, not in Arrowhead, not with Chris Jones breathing down Big Ben's neck all game. That KC defense has really stepped up in the second half of the year, exactly like they did last year. Mahomes, tale of two halves for him. Been a completely different quarterback the last 8 games of the year. Just having a really hard time to see how the Steelers keep this within 10 points. It's just not going to happen. Ben, a lot of good memories with you and Terrell Suggs and Ray Lewis. Sad to see you go because it was a lot of exciting games, but this will be your last NFL game. Later, man.
Yep, I
Let the
agree.
door hit you.
Yeah, don't let the door hit you on your way out. Shawn, can you make any sort of case for the Steelers to win this game?
I need more time than what we got right now to kind of formulate one.
It would have to be like Najee Harris with 35 carries, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's a stud for sure. It's just, I mean, I got some friends that are Steelers fans, so if they're listening, don't take offense to this, but I always thought that Ben
take offense to it.
I always thought Ben starting was hurting the Steelers, and it's going to hurt their progression.
I would give them more of a chance if they had Mason Rudolph starting this game.
Wow.
Yeah, but with Juju being out, and we all seen Ben can barely throw the ball. He's like, we say Mac Jones can't throw the ball, but I mean, Ben's a prime example of washed up arm, and he's trying out there. Give him credit for that, but the way the KC defense played this, the second half, they went from being historically one of the worst defenses in the NFL to being pretty solid. I mean, top 5, maybe top 6 or 7, but I don't think they're offensively the Steelers can match up, and pretty raw young offensive line. Like you said, Chris Jones just going to blow it up the whole time, and Frank Clark is just going to have a field day on the outside. So, I mean, like you said, I think the Steelers are going to struggle to even narrow the gap to 14 points. It's just I don't know what they can do, to be honest with you.
All right, Jake, what are your thoughts?
I'll pretty much echo that. Ben, Hall of Fame career, but he might look worse than Peyton Manning did in 2015 with his numb fingers where he couldn't even grip a football. I mean, it's that bad. And you hate to see it. You hate to see it because obviously they still want to be out there playing football. And it's great if you could still go out there and throw the ball, do it. But man, I mean, Dwayne Haskins would have been a better option. Mason Rudolph, you could throw anyone in there. Maybe they call back like Hines Ward or some of those other receivers too to give them even a better chance. I don't know. Heath Miller, bring him back. I know you guys love hearing these old Steeler names. I think it's going to be like 30-7, and it's only 30 points for the Chiefs because they're running the football and they're killing a lot of clock. It could be 10 times worse. Maybe the Steelers get a touchdown in like garbage time or something just to send Ben off the right way or whatever it is. Maybe it's a QB sneak. How funny would that be? And then he goes off in his walking boot or whatever. Yeah, I just can't see it. I'm going to say 30-14. I'll be nice. 30-14. I'm still bitter, by the way, with that Steelers loss in week 1, Shawn. So I'm very upset still about that because should never have happened.
That doesn't make any sense either.
And they're not in the playoffs without that win.
Literally don't understand that game, man. I bet the Bills so hard in that game. I'm sitting there in Vegas with Chris in the pool, just watching the Steelers win this game on a stupid block punt, whatever stupid shit that happened in that game. It was so annoying. Terrible game.
The O-line, our O-line just got decimated. It was like the worst thing I've ever seen. I never turn games off. I never get close to doing that. But when I was watching that, I was like,
tough.
It takes me 3 hours to get to Buffalo, but I mean, suit me up. I could do just exactly what they're doing.
Man.
I guess you could make the case that if somehow the defense could keep it very close, because Pittsburgh's not a really high flying offense, so if they can find a way to make it field goal game, let's get a couple field goals, maybe edge one out. But I mean, their defense,
the run defense though, is so
really
bad.
folded.
Yeah,
I just at the beginning.
Is Clyde coming back?
There's rumors that he's going to play,
Maybe.
but I know he had a shoulder injury. I don't know. I mean, it's a little iffy.
The thing that I think if I had to make a savings grace for the Steelers, the Chiefs don't really lean on the run game, and that is what puts the Steelers down, right? If you lean on your run game and run it 30 times, they don't stand a chance. Mm-hmm. I don't know that KC would do that even if it was effective, right? They're just not that type of offense. So I don't know. You're going to need a lucky fumble or interception, and because KC is just not going to run it down your throat. So I mean, if I had to give you a scenario, it would just be that KC is going to be stubborn enough to not just keep the ball on the ground, win a 23-14 game. I think they're going to try to shoot it.
Okay.
Maybe we'll see a lot of screens for because they don't like to run the ball too much for Hill and Nicole Hardman. So and they could do that because I don't think they got anybody on that team that can keep up with those two. So
yeah.
Yep. All right. So we're all pretty much in unison there. Before we go into the last game, let me ask you a quick question, Jake. What are your thoughts about the 7 playoff team? Are you a fan of it? I mean, me personally, I thought 6 was the perfect number, to be completely honest with you, with 2 byes. Now we're seeing teams like the Eagles and the Steelers make the playoffs. I get it. I like the extra game and all that stuff, but I don't know. I just always thought in basketball and hockey, 8 teams is too much. I thought in baseball, 4 teams was too little. I thought football had the perfect number with 6 teams, and now they're trying to make it. Now they made it 7 teams. Like, what are your thoughts about that?
I 100% agree. It is. I do like the 1-team bye week, so that's the only thing I really do like from the 7-team playoff format. But you already had teams getting in with losing records, like on those weird years, like the Saints when they went 7-9, the Seahawks the one year. You already had teams getting in with a 6-team format. So it just, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think 12 teams, that's a third of the league right there.
Yeah.
Then it's 14 now. You're almost at half the league making the playoffs. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I like the 6 teams better. I also, hot take, I don't like the 17-game season either. I'm a big numbers guy, and I just don't like 11-6. It's such a gross record. Like, oh, did you already play a playoff game? Okay, cool. I'm not a fan of that. Like 78 was the last time they changed the schedule. I don't see a need to add another game. I don't think the players were in favor of either. Although, Mike, I know you're out there. You did make a very good point. We wouldn't have had that game the other night with the Chargers and Raiders. Maybe you have it, though, in week 17 if there's still 16 regular season games.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. If you're going to do it, make it an even number first off. I'm not a fan of it. Too many stats being broken, all the records, all that stuff. It's just, not a fan of either.
You can't have an odd number of games scheduled because you don't play the same number of games home as away.
That too. Yep.
Yeah. It's weird.
And I hate the London thing too. I know NFL Europe was losing a ton of money, but shout out to the Amsterdam Admirals, the Rhine Fire. I loved watching those games growing up, like 03, 07. That was peak NFL Europe. You had so many good players come from that too. Kurt Warner, Jake Delhomme, Adam Vinatieri, so many guys. I mean, I love playing with them on Madden when Madden was good too. I mean, it was just great. Shout out to John Madden. Rest in peace. But
rest in peace, John. Didn't think we'd have an NFL Europe shout out on this show. That's the Rhine Fire.
I don't know if you can see it. I have a Frankfurt Galaxy.
If Jake can name the fullback of the Rhine Fire, I'm leaving it.
Ooh, don't ask him. He probably doesn't know. So.
I think it was number 40. I remember Jarris McIntyre was a receiver for them. And he had some time with the Eagles, I want to say.
That's crazy.
Jarris McIntyre, shout out to him. But
so, I have a confession to make. I've played fantasy XFL before.
I did that last year. Or 2 years ago.
I
did it by hand. I did it on an Excel sheet. Yeah.
Did you pick Johnny
I'll
Manziel?
have to send it to you guys. It's nuts.
That's crazy. All right. So let's jump into this last game. First Monday night playoff game ever between the Cardinals and the Rams. Rams are 4-point favorite with a 49.5-point total. This is a division game, the second division game of the week, just like the Patriots Bills games is. This is pretty interesting game because we've seen this game twice this year. Shawn, I'm going to throw it to you first. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Well, as my friend so politely says, he's the Rams fan. He calls them the Fraudinals. And I like the Rams in this game. I think it's going to be cool to see Matt Stafford on a different team in the playoffs. You know, he hasn't had a playoff win yet, and he's kind of stumbled a little bit near the end of the season. So I think because there was a couple games where he basically gifted the other teams 14 points, pick six, fumble right by the one or something. And then, you know, it's hard to come back from that. But turnovers are going to be key in this game. I think the Rams, they got the right players on defense to stop the Cardinals. You know, I don't know, is D-Hop going to be playing or?
He's out.
Yeah, so, I mean, you got A.J. Green and James Conner. But when you got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, you got a lot of superstars in that defense. Cooper Kupp you could argue he could be the MVP of the season. And, you know, and they signed, Weddle back for safety.
Yeah, I saw that.
I love that.
Yeah, well, see how that works.
The guy's like a dinosaur.
I know. I love old school players, man.
But
great.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it's just, you know, this is the Cardinals' first hack at the playoffs in a long time. You know, they've basically started off as they're the Super Bowl favorite to what was it, 4 of the last 5 games or some kind of crazy loss. They got lucky against the Cowboys. It was just they haven't been playing good football. You know, like I said, the Rams stumbled a little bit too, but they seem to get back on their feet. But I think the highlight of this game is going to be Matt Stafford because we know that the Rams defense can play. Is Matt Stafford going to keep the ball safe and get the ball to the weapons like Cooper Kupp and Odell?
Okay. All right. So we got a pick for the Rams there from Shawn. Shawn, you like to, you said the Arizona Fraudinals. Is that what you said?
That's what my friend says. The Fraudinals.
Okay. So the Arizona Fraudinals. I like to say Matt Staff fraud because I think this guy is one of the biggest frauds in the NFL. I think he's not that good. I think when it comes down to crunch time, he does not know how to play football, and he will turn the ball over in the fourth quarter in this game and cost them the game. So I saw it last week firsthand. They were up 17-0. He looked amazing for the first couple quarters, and then absolutely played like garbage the second half of the season. If he didn't have Cooper Kupp on that team would be a losing team, to be completely honest.
So I don't remember, Rick. What was the What weight was that game on the Rams? Like, did it matter for them?
Yeah, they needed to win that game to win the division.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the Cardinals lost.
Well, they still did, yeah.
They
but
still
seeding purposes too.
Yeah, they still won the division because the Cardinals lost, but they had to they were still playing for something in that game.
Yeah.
So it meant more to the 49ers, but it did mean something to them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
They were playing for something for sure. But yeah, I'm not a Matt Stafford guy. I think he's okay. I think Sean McVay makes him better than he actually is. I don't like the Rams in this game. I think the Cardinals are going to come in and win this game. That is my upset special of the week. I think the Cardinals are going to win this game. I would say by a field goal, maybe 4 points. But I think they're going to come away with the victory in this game just because I am not a Matt Stafford fan. I'd rather take Kyler Murray in this game. So that's my thoughts. Chris, talk to me.
Yeah, the whole Cardinals are unbeatable on the road thing. That's so long ago. I don't even remember it. The Cardinals are completely broken. I don't know what's wrong with them. They've lost 4 out of their last 5 games. No D-Hop kills them. JJ Watt. Rams, I mean, they're like low-key hot right now. I mean, they've won 5 out of their last 6 games. They're the better coach team by far in this matchup. They're the only team in this matchup with an identity. The Cardinals have absolutely no identity. It's let's try to figure it out, and hopefully Kyler has, a Kyler game of the past. He hasn't been himself this year. So I know you're not a Stafford guy. I don't know, man. I just think he's the more sure thing in this QB matchup. So I'm siding with the better coach, the more consistent quarterback, and the best offensive player in the NFL this year, Cooper Kupp. Rams by 6.
All right. Jake.
Yeah. So I am listen, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you, Rick. I love Matt Stafford. Now, I'll admit, the last few weeks, very sketchy. A lot of terrible interceptions that he's thrown. He's cost his team a lot of opportunities. Started the year off absolutely rock solid. I mean, he was like 21-3 with his interception to touchdown interception ratio. Guy was actually like probably on top of my list for an MVP candidate. And then you start to see a little bit of flaws. And I don't know if that was just the offense not being in sync, if there were some injuries there. I thought Sony Michel did a really nice job also coming in and playing pretty well for them. I think their offense is just better. Their defense is going to step up. Kyler Murray, not so great. He's been very inconsistent. I mean, they started off unbeaten. They were the last unbeaten team in the NFL, the Cardinals. And listen, I hate to do this. I do have some connections to both teams here. So shout out to my buddy Rob Grosso. He's defensive quality control coach for the Cardinals. Their defense is very opportunistic, but I think Matt Stafford finally has a clean game. He doesn't turn the ball over. The Rams pull it off. Matt Stafford, fun fact, brother-in-laws with Chad Hall, the Bills receivers coach, former NFL player, played with the Eagles and the Chiefs a little bit. His sister, Kelly Stafford, phenomenal. Love her as well. Matt Stafford's wife. So a lot of connections there, a lot of ties. I do think the Rams do pull it off. I think it's going to be a close one, but Rams pulling off 31-28. That's my prediction.
All right.
Sony Michel can kick rocks, though, because I had to pick him up for fantasy because all my running backs got hurt. He didn't do anything. And then as soon as I dropped him, someone else picked him up and he started getting hot. So, you can kick rocks.
All I can say
we need what do we think Cam Akers is going to do this game?
That's an interesting story.
We got to talk about him for a second here. Sorry, fantasy guy over here. But 6 months removed from torn Achilles. He played last week. He didn't play well. I think he had like 3 yards on 5 carries. Did a little bit through the air, but I don't know. I think he's a bit of a spark plug. He brings a different dimension than Sony does.
What happened to Darrell Henderson?
Hurt.
Is he out for the year?
I think he's done. I can't say for sure, but he might be gone at least this week.
He was playing so good this year. What happened?
Yeah.
He hasn't done much in the past 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know. I don't know his deal.
But I will say about Henry and Akers is those injuries. I mean, Henry's was, just a foot injury, but that really changes how you do things and how you play. I know these guys are, athletic specimens. They have the best medical care and physical therapy, but to come back after that and then have to play top level football, playoff football. I mean, not that they can't do it. I'm high on Cam Akers, and obviously Derrick Henry was going to break all the. I can speculate that Henry was going to break all the rushing records this year, but to see if they actually can bring it together after not playing for the whole season for Akers and then missing 7 weeks for Henry, and then he's getting the bye, so maybe that'll help. But it's going to be. I don't know if I should expect, what they're capable of until next season.
Yeah. I mean, I believe in Henry more than Cam Akers to do this, because the guy's an absolute unit, and I think even with a bad foot, he can just run people over. So I think that's going to be a good addition for the Titans. I'd rather take a 80% Derrick Henry than 100% Deontay Foreman on that team for sure. But,
all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how this game goes. It's a Monday night game, so obviously we'll see how the rest of the weekend shakes out for that game.
Who did Shawn pick? I missed that.
The Rams.
The Rams. You guys all picked the Rams. I'm on the island with the Cardinals that game. So
good. Stay there. Bye.
All right. So real quick recap. We're all on Bengals except for Shawn. He's on the Raiders. We're all on the Bills to win the game. We're all on the Bucs to win the game. We're split on the 49ers Cowboys game. I like the 49ers. Jake likes the 49ers. The other two guys like the Cowboys. We're all in unison on the Chiefs, and I'm on the island with the Cardinals. So I hope you guys listen to our picks. Don't listen to our picks. I don't care. Just enjoy some weekend football. So we're going to go into our Super Bowl predictions to wrap up the show here. So we're going to, we've given our predictions for wildcard weekend. We're going to tell you who we think are going to play in the Super Bowl in LA. Potentially Dallas. I don't know what they're going to be doing, but potentially the Super Bowl might move to Dallas. I hope it doesn't, because I kind of was thinking that I might make a little trip to LA, and if I can get a cheap ticket, maybe go to the game, but we'll see. I will give my prediction last, but I'm going to throw it to Chris first. Tell me who you think is going to win the Super Bowl.
So I'm going to be super predictable here, but I think by being super predictable, I'm actually going outside the box. So I hate doing this. I hate, some would call the easy way out, but I think doing this, it's actually being different. My honest gut heart feeling is that the Super Bowl is Packers Titans. And here's my reason. I can't envision right now the Packers losing a game. I can't see it in my eyes. Aaron Rodgers is playing the best in the NFL right now. He's locked up home field in Lambeau, which is one of the best home field advantages. The running combination of Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon is underrated. Devontae Adams is probably the best big game receiver in the NFL. I don't know, man. Bring all the weather, bring the best defense you have. I just think the Packers are ready for all of it. Can't see them losing. My gut on the Titans is I can't see them losing because they earned this bye through culture and coaching, and now they get their best players back. So give me 80% of Henry and fully healthy AJ Brown. Give me a piece of Julio Jones, and give me Tannehill the way he looked last year when he had weapons surrounding him with home field advantage the whole way. I know, Tennessee is not a huge home field advantage place, but I don't know, man. With the best record in the AFC, and then you get your two best players back, you're just going to have a hard time talking me out of it. If it wasn't going to be the Titans, it was going to be the Bills. But last second, I just switched it to the Titans. Just a big Vrabel guy. And Derrick Henry, literally, I think people, since he was out for the last 7 or 8 weeks, people forgot how dominant he was at the beginning of the year. Guy was literally on a mission. So I'm going to be, super vanilla, but hopefully super different. Packers, Titans, Super Bowl.
Who wins?
Packers.
All right. So Chris has Packers over the Titans in the Super Bowl. Shawn, give me your prediction.
I got the Bills and the Cowboys for mine.
Ooh, okay.
It's going to be a nice revenge game. You know, we lost them in the Super
Jim
Bowl.
Kelly versus Troy Aikman. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because I like the Bills and because some of my friends like the Cowboys. I truly like both of these squads, what they bring to the table. And I definitely respect your choices with the Packers and the Titans because I can see both of those teams doing it also. But I just think after, obviously the Bills faced a lot of adversity this year with, losing to the Jags and losing to the Steelers and the heartbreaking loss to Tennessee when they had Derrick Henry, when they had A.J. Brown healthy, and they had Julio healthy. And it came down to a play call that obviously I'm not a head coach, but I wouldn't have called a QB sneak on that play, because they had studs on the defensive line that were stuffing the line of scrimmage all day. I would have did a play like a boot pass. We see those with Dawson Knox all the time. He rolls out, he pretends like he's going to run, and then Dawson Knox is wide open in the end zone. And a different play call could have decided that game. So I like, as far as the Bills go, I like all of our possible matchups going forward. And I think we have the squad to do it. We got the quarterback, the defense, the coaching, the special teams. The punting is a little much to be desired. But as far as the Cowboys go, like I said, their defense under Dan Quinn's been clicking. And, I think this has been their best year. I know Dak as a rookie was 13-3, but I think overall this is the most sound this team's been, with Dak Prescott, and Mike McCarthy's got, a Super Bowl ring, and he knows how to coach in big games. So I just like the other fact is, the Packers always lose in the championship anyway. So they got
Wow.
They just gotta show me. But the Packers are definitely, like Chris said, year after year, they're a top team, and with Aaron Rodgers, he could light up anybody. So it's going to be a tough game between the Packers and the Cowboys. And you guys remember the Dez catch? So I mean, the Cowboys definitely probably want to shout out the Packers too, but my gut's telling me the Bills Cowboys, and the Bills are going to win.
That is a repeat of 1993, 92?
Back
Back to back years, right?
We got smoked in both of them too.
Yeah.
But Don Beebe on Leon Lett stripping the ball. Love that. It's the only memory I can get from that one.
Yeah. Okay. So we got Packers over the Titans for Chris. We got Cowboys losing to the Bills for Shawn. Jake, who you got?
All right. Listen, I'm going to give you guys some crazy stuff here. Some crazy, like how history repeats itself stuff. So the Bills were on a 4-game winning streak heading into Tennessee. It was week 6, I think it was. We had just come off a big win against the Chiefs. Everyone thinks we're going to win this game. Came down to one play. I think the same thing is going to happen, but in the playoffs, we're on a 4-game winning streak right now. We will be on a 5-game winning or 6-game winning streak when we go into this AFC Championship game against the Titans, because we're going to beat them to get to the Super Bowl. And I think instead of doing a QB sneak, we're going to throw the Tebow jump pass with Josh Allen, a little fake QB draw, toss it up in the
predicting
air.
Plays in the AFC
Listen,
Championship game.
if it happens, just let's replay this conversation. It'll fire me up.
I hope Mike Vrabel's
but
not
I really
listening.
do think the Bills are built, Billt, to last the entire playoffs. I think they're ready for this. Listen, last year was a really good taste for them. We have a run game now. You talk about culture, Chris. I think the culture that Sean McDermott has built over in Buffalo here, phenomenal. These guys would do anything for each other. Our two starting safeties, best safety tandem in the league, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. Unreal. We have the best nickel corner in football with Taron Johnson. How about Levi Wallace stepping in for Trey White? The defense is stacked. We're loaded. We just signed Shaq Lawson. He's back to help defend the run a little bit. I'm telling you right now, I think we're ready for this. We're going to beat New England convincingly. We're going to go into KC. We're going to slay the dragon there. Then we're going to go back to Tennessee, get a little revenge game, win that, get to the Super Bowl. Fun fact about the Super Bowl logo, they have some palm trees in the logo this year. It's not that corporate soulless logo that they've been using the last 10 years or whatever. Same thing over and over again. Same template. It's insane. It drives me nuts. I miss the old days when they used to actually make like a legit logo, but that's besides the point. Might happen in Dallas. If it does, that's hilarious. I feel bad for you, Rick, because potentially you get a ticket out there. But definitely the Bills representing the AFC. This is not being biased. This is being honest. I really do think that we're built to last and we'll make it happen. On the NFC side, I hate to do it, but I do think Green Bay gets there. They're just so damn good. And Aaron Rodgers is playing just out of his mind football. And even so, like, how is he still performing at this level like 1,000 years later? It's just amazing what this guy can do. Honestly, the most impressive, most insane arm talent I've ever seen outside of my guy Josh Allen. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has the best arm talent I've ever seen. Honestly,
he's got the best
real
little
here.
float. Like, you know,
Yeah,
how
it's
like that.
No one.
The perfect
Yeah.
spiral that just like floats right over the defender. It's so pretty.
Where it needs
No
to
one can
be
just
every
roll.
time.
Yeah.
You know how we talked earlier about like the Cinderella story thing? I think there's a narrative in the playoffs that's a bit overlooked here. This is Rodgers' last game too, right?
Yeah.
Last run too,
Yeah.
right? He's pretty much said.
Hold on. Let me get to my. Let me get.
Okay. If you don't talk about what I want to say,
I was gonna get to that in a second. So
Okay.
Oh, I love it.
All right. So you guys have you guys have talked a lot about the Bills. You guys have talked a lot about the Titans.
Yes.
But you have not talked about who I think is the best team in the AFC and the best quarterback in the AFC in the NFL, and that's Patrick Mahomes. And I think the Chiefs are going to do it again. I think they are the best team in the AFC.
Super Bowl?
No. Well, yes.
That.
I'm getting to that. So I think they're going to run the gauntlet in the AFC. They're going to have tough matchups. We know that. After the Steelers, they're going to have to beat the Bills. They're going to have to beat the Titans in the AFC Championship game. And I think they're going to do it. I think they play really good defense in January. I think they're going to win close games, but I think they're going to sneak them out. And I think they're going to get to the Super Bowl to play the Packers. I also think the Packers are going to make the Super Bowl, and I think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Just like Chris was trying to say there, I think this is Aaron Rodgers' last ride with Green Bay. I think he's going to bring another Super Bowl to that town like he did, some years ago when they beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl, and I think he's going to relish that. He loves Green Bay, the town. He loves the fans. He loves his teammates. He hates the organization. So I think he's going to win the Super Bowl this year. He's going to raise that Lombardi trophy, and he's going to give a big F you and get the hell out of town to that organization and go somewhere else next year. So I think
see him on Jeopardy.
Yeah. So, well, I don't think so. I think he's going to play for another team, but
Wow.
I think he does have a chip on his shoulder to like, I don't know, like give the FU to the organization, but I also think he wants to win a Super Bowl for the fans one last time before he leaves. So my prediction is Packers over the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I know you guys, this is a Bills show or whatever, and you guys are biased and all that stuff. And I don't disagree with it. I think the Bills are a really good team. I just don't think they've made enough moves. I don't think they've improved enough to get the job done in Arrowhead this year. We saw them jump out to a 14-0 lead last year in that AFC Championship game and then blow it. If they do jump out to a 14-0 lead this year, I think they could win the game, but I don't think they're going to jump out to a 14-0 lead. I think the Chiefs are going to win that game by 3 or 4 points and move on. So that's my prediction.
Oh.
All right. Well,
man.
Is that what you were going to say, Chris, as far as Rodgers goes?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're talking about Big Ben, like, is that the best storyline? But the more and more I thought about it is like, Rodgers pretty much swears, and if there's anyone more stubborn in the NFL, there's probably no one more stubborn in the NFL than Aaron Rodgers. So he swears he's done with the Packers, and I think his ultimate FU to the Packers is to win, right? As weird as that sounds, but he's a weird guy, and I feel like that's his double middle finger to the coach and to the organization is I won, not the Packers won, and I'm going to go play for the Broncos, and then I'll be back in the playoffs next year. So that's what I was going to say is that, since the Pitt's going to lose round 1, I think all eyes are going to be on Rodgers, and they're going to ask him questions about, is this your last ride and blah, blah, blah. So that'll become a storyline as the playoffs go on.
No one's talking about Tom Brady's last ride, just so you know. I mean, what does he have, another 10 years?
Yeah.
I
Our
mean,
friend Jeremy in the chat just said, no mention of TV in the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's not one person mentioned the Bucs. So are we really gonna hang up the phone right now and just disregard the defending Super Bowl champion and say no chance? What's going on here?
I'm not going to say no chance, but I don't think they're going to go into Green Bay and win this year. I think the Packers are built to beat them this year, unlike they were last year. So I think the Bucs have some injuries on the offensive side of the ball. The defense is not the greatest in the world, the back end of their defense. So I think Rodgers is going to light them up. So yes, to answer that question, I do not think the Bucs are going to make this.
Talk about an NFC Championship game, though. Can we please get the Tom Brady and the Bucs in Lambeau for NFC Championship
again? Yeah.
And it's incredibly hard to, obviously to repeat a Super Bowl. So, there's that aspect of it too. It's just, and when it comes to playoffs, you got to get a little bit lucky. Every team that's won the Super Bowl got lucky in some earlier round or the Super Bowl itself. And look at the Seahawks Patriots game. If they ran with Marshawn Lynch, the Seahawks won that Super Bowl. Speculation, but I bring this up every time I talk to my friends about that. When I was in high school, sorry for the backstory, we were playing in the semifinals in upstate New York. It's called sectionals, and then you go to the Carrier Dome to play the finals. So we're one game away from the finals, and we're in double overtime against the top-ranked school. And the way it worked in high school was you start at the 20, and you got 4 plays to score a touchdown. So it was kind of the same situation as the Seahawks game. Our running back was hot. You couldn't stop him. And then our last play, there was a couple yards left. We threw the ball, and we didn't get it. The next time they got a chance to score, our cornerback falls in the end zone, wide open. They catch the ball. They win. Man. They go on to win the final 60-0. But I always bring that up because if you just go with the hot hand, you got Marshawn Lynch to run 1 yard. That's a whole different story. So you got to get a little bit lucky sometimes. And not that Tampa Bay can't do it. It's just they don't have the same team as they do last year, and it's not discrediting to Brady. It's just you got to add all that together.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, right? None of us mentioned Tom Brady, and he's just going to give us the big FU and go out and win us another Super Bowl, isn't he?
I know.
Did they have the same record as the Packers in the regular season?
No, they were 1 game worse.
13-4. What were the Packers?
12 Packers were 13-4
too.
So were the Bucs. They have the same
they were 12-5.
I think the Bucs were 12-5. No,
nope.
No, really?
13-4.
Really?
Yeah, and then the Packers.
We're giving a lot of disrespect to a 13-win team right now.
Yeah,
I'm not changing my answer, but I'm just saying that y'all are giving a lot of disrespect.
Could you imagine if it's Steelers Eagles Super Bowl?
Oh my gosh,
that sure would be something.
I live in Baltimore. I'm too close to Philadelphia to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up the show, I'm just going to kick to all you guys. I think this is probably the last show we're going to do as far as the playoffs go. If we have time to do a Super Bowl show, maybe we will. But Chris, any last thoughts on this season as a whole? Anything you want to talk about before we wrap up?
No, man. Just thanks for being a part of it with me. Thanks to Mike, our producer. Had a great season of talking football. It's just fun to get on here at night and chum it up with the guys and gals that get in the chat and have a good time. So anyone out there that, wants to play fantasy football or play more fantasy football or different kinds, Rick and I run a fantasy football show. So stay tuned, hit us up, and we'll help you out. So really appreciate it to the channel for giving us a chance to speak our minds, and really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. I will echo that also. It was a great season talking fantasy with you, Chris, every week. The actual NFL season was a very fun year to watch, minus the Ravens starting 8-3, ending 8-9. Very, very tough to end the season, six losses in a row, very decimated by injuries. But now all I can really think about is who we're going to take with the 14th pick in the draft. So we will do a draft preview show at some point to talk about that. That's the only thing really on my mind when it comes to the Ravens right now. But yeah, thanks for everything, Mike. I appreciate everything you do behind the glass. And I look forward to everyone, joining us next season. Jake, you got any thoughts? Wrap up the season?
Yeah, listen, I appreciate you guys having us on, two Bills fans who are probably way too confident going into this playoff series. But I'll tell you what, it's going to happen. And just remember that Josh Allen / Tebow jump pass that happens against the Titans to get us into the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a really fun NFL playoffs, this wild card weekend. I mean, super wild card weekend. It's going to be fun. Really excited for it. And yeah, we'll go Bills, baby. Go Bills. That's it.
Shawn, how sad are you going to be when the Super Bowl is Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick?
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's a whole nother pod.
I already said that if that's the Super Bowl, if the Super Bowl is Patriots and Bucks, I'm just going to play golf on that Sunday. I'm not even going to watch the game.
Yeah, that's the conspiracy theorist in me. That's why I was kind of upset we drew the Patriots, because I'm like, Vegas said a couple weeks ago the best odds for Super Bowl were Bucks Patriots, and I was like, oh, that's good. So now the refs are going to have their hands dipped in this game. So I mean, I like to think it's not 100% fixed, but I mean, if I see a Bucks Patriots Super Bowl, then
it's gotta be
my belief of the fixation of the NFL will be skyrocketed.
Yeah.
But I mean. Yeah, I'll be big sad if that's the case.
Yeah, Shawn, go ahead. Shawn, go ahead and plug your channel one more time.
All right, guys, thank you again for having me on your show. My first time working with you two, it was a blast. Hopefully, we could do another thing soon. I know you said you might be the last one, but if we could do another thing, that'd be great. Jake and Mike, I had a blast with you guys too. Thank you guys for having me on again. But you can find me at Red, White, and Bills on YouTube. I got a Twitter. I don't like to have Twitter because of how toxic it is. Yeah. But I said, I'll just make one for the channel and, have some fun there. You can find me on Twitter, Red, White _Bills. Sorry, I got to remember all the underscore stuff. And then Instagram is Red and underscore between all the words. Or Red, White, and Bills. But yeah, I really enjoy what I do. If anyone has any ideas of a kind of show I can do, I'd love to hear any idea you guys have, or I'm down for you guys to come on a show too. I love bringing people on my pods all the time. But thanks again for having me on. I really appreciate it.
All right, cool. All right, guys.
A couple requests in the chat, Rick, for us to do a Super Bowl show and go over props.
Okay.
Ooh,
I'm down.
Nice one.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Mike politely, but maybe we can fit in one more playoff show.
Just take the over on the national anthem. That's it.
Who sings it this year?
I have no idea, but one year I swear it was Patti LaBelle singing the national anthem, and I knew that lady was going to draw that national anthem out as long as possible. Ended up being I think the over-under was like 1:40 or something, and it ended up being 2.5 minutes, and
wow,
it was the easiest bet in my life.
They should have Fergie awesome. Do it.
Yeah, Fergie. She's awful.
Love that, Shawn.
If it's Bucks Patriots, have Fergie sing the national anthem.
All right. Yeah, maybe we'll do a Super Bowl show, but
Super Bowl show and then NFL draft show. Yeah. Got to do at least one NFL draft show.
Yep, definitely.
For sure.
All right, guys.
I'd like to join you guys on the draft one. That'd be
fun.
Let's
go, Jake.
Do that. Good. And then we are going to still do our pregame show for the Bills games moving forward, hopefully right up to the Super Bowl. Fingers crossed. And hey, Rick, are you guys doing the golf show too? I know golf is kind of starting back up.
We're back in the swing of golf. We haven't done a golf show yet this year. We're going to start that back up next week with the American Express in California, which I will actually be going to in person. So nice. Maybe I can get some insight on that. But yeah, me and Tony will be doing the golf show starting back up next week on Tuesday. So tune in for that for sure.
Did you do that on purpose? The swing of golf?
What?
You getting back in the swing of golf?
I will say
jokes. Let's go.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everyone that joined me tonight. We have our Twitter handles below, our names, our faces here. If you guys have any questions, tweet at us. But yeah, you guys have a good weekend. Enjoy the football this weekend. Go Bills. Hopefully they win. And we will catch up with you guys later. All right. Have a good day.
All right. Go Bills.
Go Bills.